Ain't you sick of giving me your money?
Oh, it's... Oh. I know he didn't do it, baby.
Whoa, where you going?
No, I'm about to go make these drop offs.
Speaking of a combination of branding and good business, that
you got this smile on your face.
he's like, where are we going with this? That leads me to your newest venture, Seek Death, which has a number of different facets to it, all which I don't quite understand yet. But I know that there's a story, and I know that I feel like this will bring a lot of things that we talked about all together. So can you dive into what Seek Death is, what it stands for, and why you decided to go in this new direction?
Well, it's really started with me wanting to brand myself for once. It's really simple to brand everybody else. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's like it's easy to clean someone else's house. It's easy to give other people advice. It's hard to give yourself advice. So it took me a minute to figure out how I wanted to brand myself. And then for the first time coming out with my own website and doing my own thing. And it was like, okay. And I used this term like one of my first years as the gym owner. I was like, man, you got to go get it, man. You got to be willing to die in that ring. You got to, the chances are you're probably not going to die fighting in a controlled setting, but it does happen. And so, but you got to be willing to go there. To me, it's like, make the choice. The worst thing that can happen in that ring is I can walk out crippled or dead. If you can be okay with facing that fear, no other fear will get in the way. And I'm like, so I'm telling you to go after and seek death, like go face it. And that's how that started. And then it sort of grew from there more and more. And then my girl, she wasn't my girl at the time, but she made a hoodie and it says Seek Death on it because that was my quote. And I was like, man, what does that really mean to me though? Right. Like, I started wanting to dive deeper in that because I wanted to explain it more, like why. And all I could say is like, at that time is like, push yourself past your limits. Like if we go through a metamorphosis like a butterfly, every time we read a book, we gain knowledge. Every time we go through an experience, we gain knowledge. Anytime we do something, if you go work out, we gain knowledge. But most of the time, especially at our age, in order for that knowledge to stick, there has to be some pain. There has to be something. It has to be meaningful. It has to touch something. When they say it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, that's true because we're not willing to face that pain. And so coming back from injuries, doing certain things, it was like, in order to do those things, I had to put my body and my mind through so many pains and pain, so many different painful situations. And it was like, okay, so seek death to me just means killing off the older version of yourself. And so it's like, and it became a thing in my gym. You come to my gym, you will leave a new person every single time that I push you to your limit. Now, I won't do that all the time, but there will be times where I'm like, today's hell. We're going to hell today and you're about to die. And so you might be that if you could only do 10 push-ups, you're going to give me 11. And it might be the worst thing in the world. It might make you cry, it might make you throw up, but you're giving me that one more. And when you do that over and over again, it's like crazy. I have a thing that is written up. I don't have it memorized. So if it's cool, I'll just read it.
Yeah, word,
Yeah,
word,
okay.
word, yeah.
Okay, seek death. It's really simple. It's not this suicidal idea of you actually wanting to physically die. It's seeking metaphorical death. It's seeking the death of your limitations. It's seeking the death of your limited self and the death of your limiting beliefs. It's the idea of pushing yourself through the uncomfortable and getting to the point where you don't feel physically or mentally capable of doing more than you are doing. And then to seek death means you push yourself past that point. And in doing that, you discover that what you thought was your limit was really just a stepping stone, and you discover new capabilities within yourself. And the idea is that you do that not once, but you do that for your entire life. You keep doing that and you keep pushing and you keep growing. So it's like, it sounds morbid, but when you really think about it, if you want to lose weight, if you want to get chiseled, like if you're trying to like be toned, do you know how much pain you got to go through in order to get that?
Yeah.
The sacrifices you have to make, eating wise, time wise. If you want to do something with your life, if you want to become something in music, you might have to sell your house, sleep on a couch, and just tough that shit out and go work at Blockbuster. Like, so what? And so all I know is that my entire life I've been doing this. But, and like Dash, like I was telling you, I used to seek death in the most negative way. Like, I remember plain as day getting told, do not slap this person, you're gonna get jumped. And they had me surrounded, and I still slapped this dude because I didn't care. I didn't care if I lived or die. I was going through so much shit in my house. Like my stepdad, like the first time I got called the N-word was by my stepfather. It didn't even register. Like that's how easy it just flew off the tongue. I knew more about sex before I was 10 than most people their whole lives. So there's no pain that somebody could inflict on me that I already wasn't dealing with. And so being reckless on the streets, I didn't care. So when someone pulled a bat and wanted to fight, I took that bat on my elbow, on my head, and still stomped them because that was the only way I knew how to win. I didn't like school. I just went because I had to. But it didn't make sense to me that I was learning things that I didn't, in my mind, I was not going to be able to use the rest of my life. You're teaching me about something that I don't care about. Right. Give me football, and that's it. Let me play my sports, and I'll be all right. And I just kept doing all these negative things, like to myself. That's the weird thing. If I get in a fight with someone and stomp somebody, yeah, that's them, but they chose to fight with me. But I was taking wounds too. Like, oh man. And by the time I got to high school, my sophomore year, I missed 60 days of school.
Damn.
That's a lot.
I didn't miss any meets. I played football, I wrestled, and I did track because they didn't care.
Damn.
They didn't care.
Right.
And you let me do? No. I need, like, if there's not rules, I'm a wild thing. I'm gonna be wild. And so, but then again, some dude wanted to holler at some female that was just like, it sounds bad, just some female I was talking to, not even my girl at the time. And like, instead of like, I was missing so much school because I was going home with my girl. And this is how I knew I was wilding out. He said he was gonna kill me. And I knew he was in this organization, and I was in this organization.
Got you.
My own organization said, if you do this, you will be in violation. I didn't listen to them. My girl asked me to stay at the crib with her. I didn't listen to her. And trust me when I say that that was the only time in my life that I've turned down something for something else. I have never turned. I know who I am. I do not put myself in situations because I do not know if I could turn it down. So I do not put myself in those compromising situations. But I still turned that down, was willing to take the violation, went back to my school, grabbed this dude by his throat in front of my high school doors, threw him down and got sliced up.
Damn.
When I say I didn't care, I did not care. And all I could think about was like, oh yeah, I was a rebellious teenager wilding out because of all the things I was seeking death.
Yeah.
I really wanted to die. And I think my tipping point in my adulthood for this was during the pandemic. Because
oh wow,
it shifted that. Like, I was the dude that, you know, had meningitis. We still don't know how I got that, and almost died from it. Like, Ryan had to come get me, take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
They told me if I didn't come in, like if I would have waited another hour, I was dead. They had me in the hospital, my own room, and told me I couldn't do nothing. I told Sherelle, go get my computer. I'm working. And I was working from like a hospital bed. I don't know. So when it all shut down, I was like deep into all these school projects, MSCR, working with them, working within the schools, all based with UCAN, running my gym, coaching my fighters. I just got done fighting, like, and I was told I would never fight again. And I won 2 fights. And I was like, man, I'm about to do it again. Like, let's go. Like, and it all shut down. And I was already going, me and Sherelle were already going through it. Like, we were already separated and trying to figure out some kind of neutral ground there. And I started seeing someone else, and that became toxic. And then all of a sudden, like, I had nothing to turn to. All the things that I was able to hide behind was work. And now I'm not busy. Now I'm not Mr. Get Your Buzz Up. I'm not Shah. I'm not I'm not the wolf Fenrir. I'm not that monster fighting. I'm not even a gym owner right now because everything's shut down. I'm like, and I'm dealing with all this stress of my current relationship not being happy, and the woman that, like, I know we're getting divorced, like, they don't get along, and it's like, it's like, and I remember the night I just sat in my car, man, and it was me and my girlfriend, as Tupac would say. And
wow,
we had a nice long conversation for 2 hours where that thing, my girlfriend rubbed against my head a few times. And so I had to like really check myself. Now, ego played a part in not doing it, the thought of my kids, but that's how low I got. And that's when, and then I removed myself. Like, I had to step away from like, I couldn't do UCAN stuff right then. Like, I needed to walk away from everything. Right. And I got lost in just being a coach to the fighters that were still coming in, because I was still having fights being booked during that. Like, down south didn't care. Like, Indiana didn't care. Like, there's certain states that didn't care. So my fighters were still taking fights, and I got lost in that, and that helped me a lot. And it was like, okay. And I figured out I got trapped trying to better myself. And that's what, and the term seek death really came around during that. I got stuck in my past while living in the present, too worried about the future. And that was the first time in my life I was worried about failing at something, because it wouldn't have been my failure. It would have been a failure that I didn't foresee. Like, nobody had money saved up like that for the pandemic. Like, and so it was like, oh, so it was like a real eye-opening experience. And it was one of the lowest parts of my life. But because of it, you control you, make your passion make sense, and seek death all came about. And I decided that I'm never going to seek death in a negative way again. Anytime I seek death, it's going to be in a positive way. If you think about the 4 horsemen, death is one of them. Oh, I'm seeking that dude out. Like, I'm going to keep living my life to the fullest every day. And I'm seeking it every day. Every day I'm going after it. I try to read books every day. I try to like be a better coach, be a better dad, be a better significant other. Like, The way I look at my days now, I wake up at 4 in the fucking morning. I feed my dog, I do the dishes, and I take a shower. I walk my dog. I come back home. I make coffee. I wake my girl up at 5:30. She has a cup of coffee waiting for her, either on the counter or on the deck of our house if it's a beautiful day out that early in the morning. And the reason why I do all that, because it reminds me of what the fuck I'm fighting for that early in the morning, because that's where I got lost working all the time. I had the drive to work, but I forgot what I was doing it for, because the relationship I was in, it's not, me and Sherelle are like best friends. Neither one of us could get out of each other's way. Our traumas were just going clash, and we could not stop blaming each other. And we needed the time apart. Now we're like, oh shit. Now we see what happened. And it's like, I think all relationships do that. And kudos to the ones that can stick it through and ride that out. Right. We couldn't. And that's okay. But I know where if I fuck up, I fix it. I may still make certain mistakes, but I fix it. So that reminds me every morning why I'm doing what I'm doing. That keeps me humble instantly. I say my prayers. Now, I don't believe in God probably the same way other people do. I have been parts of many religions. I've studied many religions. My thing is, I still have to pray to God, because regardless, I have to be humble enough to pray to something bigger than me. I understand it as that. So I pray and I say my gratitudes, and it keeps me humble early in the fucking morning. So, and it keeps my brainstem from taking over my mind and telling me all the things that I'm not, and allows me to focus on all the things that I am. Then I take my happy ass to work. I clean my goddamn gym, and then I'm ready to teach class. Oh, usually by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, I've already worked a full day.
Right.
I've worked a full day. Now it's time to go home, have some lunch, do some housework or do some computer work, work it out. Like either I'm going to hang out with my son, or my son is coming to the gym, or he's coming to the house to be with the dog. And then I take my happy ass back to work, and life is good. And so it's every day is seeking death. It's just a different version of seeking death now. And as far as I know, you asked me about the new business. That's to me, that's the whole business though. That is like it for me. So like I have shirts at the gym and hoodies at the gym that say seek death. It was a no-brainer. It was like, look, I'm not starting a cult. I'm just starting a philosophy.
Right.
Because we're not going to do nothing crazy. I want all my students to be wolves and be a part of my pack. My pack is strong. But when you're not here, you got your own pack. Go lead your own pack. And walk out of here with confidence, knowing that you can lead your own pack. That's seeking death. Like if you're not happy with your life, change that. Like I had to learn how to communicate better within a relationship. Let me study some books. Let me learn from some of these men. Let me learn from some of these women. Let me learn how to do this better, because I'm having certain responses that maybe work with Sherelle that ain't working right now. So let me learn how to better check myself and be a better leader. And then I want to learn how to do money better. Let me read this. I'm seeking death every time I do that, man. I want to learn a new language. Well, let me start learning this. And it's like, for me, seeking death is also passing on generational wealth to my kids, but it's not wealth in the finances, because I can't guarantee I'm going to be a 7-figure dude. That may not happen in my lifetime. But my daughter's already reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I made sure to teach her boyfriend that she's been with for the last 4 years, and they're talking about getting a place. Hey, why is my daughter going to get Starbucks? She ain't gonna listen to her pops like that. You might want to put a hold on that, because if you're talking about getting a place, you can buy a coffee maker, some coffee, and make it yourself, and it's gonna be way cheaper. And you might want to start thinking about that stuff, because as I told him, yeah, I'm dad, but you're the man she's choosing to listen to now. And you wanted that role, you got that role, so you gonna learn from me. because I can only give her so much because she's been getting it her whole life. So she'll hear it, but
that's
she
how it
ain't
be,
hearing it.
man. Once they get a certain age, they just kind of, you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
grown.
Yeah. So
There's a couple things you dropped in there, man. I think they're just phenomenal. That your story reminds me of one of my favorite books of all time. It's by David Goggins. It's called Can't Hurt Me.
oh yeah,
And
I love that book.
just like listening to you, I never knew, man. And second of all, I'm glad that you are here
Amen.
Thank you.
to
Yep,
be
yep.
with us to share those jewels. And thirdly, I think you're the only person that can say God and curse at the same time, and it sounds cool as hell. You know,
I mean,
so thank you for
it's
all
because
three of those.
me and God, we have
A real relationship.
It's real.
yeah, me and
That's
God,
what it
we have
is.
some
You have a real relationship with
Yeah.
someone, you
talks.
can
Like
swear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
man, my mom will say she's a witch, like, and so her family really like they do tarot readings, like they
My mom
for
was like
real.
that. I'm cracking up. Why are we sitting up here as big stereotypes?
Yeah,
Like,
man. But
I
let
was
me not
so
front. I got
bad
tarot
because I'm
cards on my
light-skinned and
desk.
trying to put
I'm
them
evil
hard.
with those things,
Oh,
and so,
man. Swear.
but you know, of course, having friends, um, for a while there, I was going to a Baptist church, and so
Mhm.
learning about that, and then studying some other things, and then for a long time, following Islam and being a Muslim, and I loved. People knock it, and people talk about it, but when you really break down the real rules that you're supposed to follow, the real structure of it,
Mhm.
it's not demeaning to women any more than any other religion. So
Yep.
it's like countries may be, but not that. And so studying it, but then Eastern philosophies, I was like, okay, me and God, we just gonna have a cool God is whatever. We're gonna have a cool situation. We're gonna have a
Right.
cool conversation. So it keeps me really humble. I gotta pray to something bigger than me. And so if not, then I stay in my God complex a little bit too long, and that's never a good sign. I could do that for fighting, but I can't stay in there too long. It all goes bad. So yeah.
Yeah, that Sikh death that's hot, man. And now, you explained a lot too, because I went to your Facebook profile and I saw you had the wolf. You talked about that too. Um, I'm curious about like how you got into how did you get into Muay Thai fighting in
Muay Thai,
the
Muay Thai.
blast Muay Thai? My bad, Muay Thai.
No, I started boxing when I was like 19 or 20 over
Okay.
at a gym called Rufus Sports. Now, if you follow MMA, they they're really they're really a big deal. They had some of the they had some really great champions, and Duke and his brother are both top kickboxers. But I went there for boxing. And so
Okay.
that was in Milwaukee. I was driving from Richland Center to Milwaukee. And
Oh damn. Whew. That's like
yeah.
across the
And
state,
so
literally. Like
yeah, I would,
yeah.
and then go to work. And so, but I did that for a while and really loved that, love sparring people, love doing that. And I mean, I've been hit between football and fighting either in my household or on the streets. Violence was easy. So then when I moved to Madison or Monona, while I was working at Blockbuster, one of the O'Malley brothers came in, and they were the old owners of Chosen Few Gym.
Oh damn.
And they were like, "Man, you're big. Did you wrestle?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Man, do you know how to fight?" I'm like, "I can hold my own. Why? What's up?" He's like, "Man, we own a gym and we got this guy. His name is James Warfield, and like he's not really big, but he's stronger than everybody else." And and I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "Will you come in?" Yeah. And I started training with James, just me and him, just me and James. And it's cool because me and James, I went to school with James' brother at MMI, so it worked out like a small world. And so James was like this 5'8" black dude that was just knocking people out. Just like it's some of the hardest punches I've ever felt in my life. And so I was doing that for a while. And then when Sherelle and I got a little more serious, which was really quick, I stopped everything and focused on music. Well, I really don't know what I was thinking at this time. I thought if I ate once a day and worked 18 to 20 hours,
Oh
somehow
damn.
I would stay in shape. That didn't happen. And that's when I learned, well, I learned years later that when you don't eat and you don't sleep, your metabolism doesn't work. And so
Yep.
it just stores everything. And then, it took me a while to stop drinking, but I was having fun drinking at shows and being sociable and having fun, and then get home. And then I wouldn't eat before the show. I eat it after the show. And then eventually fall asleep and then get back up a few hours later and back to work because nobody's gonna outwork me. And then I stopped drinking, but it was like I was living this unhealthy lifestyle. And Sherelle let me know one day, and I didn't like the way she's let me know, but I was like, you know what? Okay, I don't want to just go work out, and let me go back to combat sports. Let me go do something that I have years of experience in. Let me go do this. And at that time we were staying off Todd Drive, and the blast was right around the corner. I'm like, oh man, I can make this work. Cool. And I went there, and my dude Mackie brought me in. So I'm like, I'm expecting to see a whole bunch of white people, which there were, but Mackie is this mixed dude. And he's talking about, yeah, man, like he was naming all these hip hop people and like people. He's like, yeah, and I know this. I'm like, oh man, like, okay, cool. And I just started training with him doing privates, and then eventually started doing class. And I fell in love with Mike Vaughn, the owner, and my crew. It's like what you call an instructor in Muay Thai. And so, man, I've been there ever since, man. It's been a decade as a student.
Yeah.
Again, some of my lowest points in my adult life has been at the gym. Pop my knee at that gym, but without that gym, I don't find that I love coaching because I'm in a wheelchair teaching one of my young students. And at this time I was supposed to fight. I dislocate my knee, tear my ACL, my LCL, and rip apart my nerve, and my right foot still don't work. I have what's called drop foot. I'm teaching this girl how to kick with crutches in a wheelchair. I just take my crutches and I'm like, okay, you need this kind of arc. Whap with my crutches. And I'm like, because I can't do it, but I can teach you. And I fell in love with coaching. I was like, oh man, if I could teach somebody how to do this while I'm in a wheelchair, and it's the only light I had. Like I was so depressed at the time because I couldn't do nothing. And it was like, okay, maybe I got something. And then I got the opportunity to be the head coach in 2017, and we won a belt. And then I took over as the owner in 2018. And the thing the doctor said I would never do, walk without a brace, I was doing that. I was told I was never going to fight or spar. Well, first boxing match in March of 2018, first punch, bop, break his nose, and then just keep whooping his behind for the next couple rounds. Okay, first person to ever do it with drop foot. Okay, tear a couple rotator cuffs. By the end of the year, oh, somebody wants to do MMA and they want me to coach. Cool, we win that too. We win. Like I'm like, okay, 2019, win a kickboxing match, keep winning, and it was like, cool. Suffered some losses in there too, of course, but it was like, man, you can't really tell me nothing. Don't bring failure to me. Like, if you tell me I can't do something, there's something in my brain that naturally, and in all our brains, but I know for a fact it's me. I'm going to look at you and you better hope I don't want to do it. That's the only way you're going to get me not to do it. And man, if I want to do it, I do it. And I'm going to find a way to do it. And so I don't know. Sorry, I went out. I have my Kanye moments, man. I go 4 different ways, man. I go.
Man, we're here for it. This is gonna be a long episode. And it's good. It's good. So, like, I feel like, first of all, I echo what DLO said. So happy you were here, right? And I always say this too. I always say that suicide looks different in different communities. Because what we will do, our community, Black community, and especially if you combine that with poverty, especially if you combine that with abuse, what we will do is the reckless stuff, right? We're probably not going to hang ourselves in the closet, probably not going to, leave a note and take some pills, but we're going to do some crazy stuff. So I just so happy you're here and just recognizing all of that and your transparency. Like I watch your TikToks, I watch your stories and your reels on Instagram, and you be honest as like you ain't lying. It be the sunrise and you be honest as hell, right? Which is just it's brave, right? It's so courageous and it's inspiring. So
Thank you.
who inspires you, right? You know, who are the people that you look at that be like, damn, like I just got chills looking at that person do what they did.
Honestly, my mom is first and foremost. It took me a while because I had to realize I had to forgive my mom for things that her decisions, and but my mom most of all, because my mom's taught me how to not give up, and she wouldn't think that though, because she says she's always scared to try something. But I watched my mom stay in a marriage, better or worse. That man had a couple strokes, got in a car accident, and was paralyzed. And I watched her take care of him for like 15 to 17 years without a social life, without anything, in a house that was supposed to be their retirement house and it wasn't even finished.
Wow.
And so in a town with two boys that at that time, like I'm reckless. And so like my mom first and foremost is my greatest inspiration because like I don't know how she did it. Like I'm about to be 42. My pops wasn't around. So having a mixed kid and my dad isn't around, and she told my stepfather, like, just move me to an area where it's diverse for him. Without moving to that kind of area, I don't grow up with my brothers. And like I have more than one dad. Like their pops are my pops. And so my mom first and foremost. If we talking, I guess bigger. I mean, everybody, honestly, everybody. I'm inspired by everyone. And it's weird to say, but if you tell me that you did something, I guarantee you I'm gonna be hyped for you. I'll be like, hell yeah. Oh, well, you did. Yeah, let's go. You did that. That's what's up. And I'll be like, wait, did you think about this though? Did you think about this? Like Dash knows because I do this to him all the time. Like Dash will drop something, he'll say something. I'm like, man, you don't even know how big you got it. It's like, did you think about this? Did you think about this? Did you think? Because I'm so hyped. Because when I leave that energy, I'm be like, man, he really doing it, or she really doing it. Man, I got to get to work. I gotta what am I not doing with myself right now? And I don't take it as like a bad thing. Is like I'm hyped for you, and it's inspiring me to work harder. When my brother told me he was editing well, he had to wait until after he had permission to tell us. But when I edited Black Panther. What? Man, I'm so hyped for you. Yeah, let's go. Like, man, that's crazy. I'm gonna go see that movie, man. I don't even like the movie theater, but I'm gonna go support this, man. Like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, man, wait, he did Black Panther? Oh, it's my turn. I bet my turn. Let's kick something up. Cause it's not competition, but it's like, man, he raised the bar. Let's go. Like I need to go. Now it's up to me. Let me climb up to that bar and see if I can raise it a little bit higher so he can go get it too. So I'm inspired by everybody. In music, Hatch was a mentor. Mike Trampy was a mentor. Of course, Pain, man. I love trying to outwork that man. That man is like we try to do it, man.
That's
like
hard thing to do, man.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Karen inspires me all the time.
Karen Reese.
Shout out to Karen Reese.
Karen Reese.
Karen, man.
Cousin Karen, what up?
You can president.
Yeah. Honestly, Dash inspires me because he's so damn organized. So that shit, like, man.
He's a mogul. He's a mogul, man.
Yeah, like y'all talking about me, but man, I need bonders like him. That's where I'll be at. My weakness is being that organized. That is actually my girl and her family. All the sisters are doing it. Like you got 5 girls and they all do the damn thing. And their mom does the damn thing. Sherelle inspires me. Sherelle just graduated nursing school, man. Like that was the most inspiring.
Shout out
Because I
Sherelle.
Yeah.
remember her starting this, and it was like constantly,
So much
girl,
love
you
to her.
got it, and to go through a divorce. And we had a really civil divorce, but it's still a divorce. It's a change.
Yeah.
Like my kids inspire me, man. Like authors inspire me all the time. David Goggins is definitely a dope inspiration. And he's probably, him and Deion Sanders made it easier for me to talk. Cause I never talked about my life. Like I didn't share because I was like, man, I'm soft. I ain't sharing. And so that's how I looked at it anyway. I didn't care if other people shared, but I wasn't sharing. And then listening to people have similar stories, like you said, David Goggins, like, I didn't deal with the weight issue till I got bigger, or until I got, that's funny, until I got older. Until I got older. But definitely dealing with racism in my own house, dealing with sexual and physical abuse and that trauma. And then like Sherelle knew how close it came during the pandemic. Like I made her take my girlfriend for a little while, like to make sure that I was like, to make sure I was good. Yeah. But hearing Deion talk about it, that was like, oh, and more people started talking about it. I was like, oh, I'm not the only one. Okay. Kobe Bryant. Now that I'm thinking about it, Kobe being like Michael Jordan. I'm from Chicago, so I love the Bulls. But I didn't get to understand Michael Jordan's journey until later. But Kobe, everything was documented. And then I read this book called Relentless by Tim Grover. I recommend it, by the way. He broke.
That was the next question.
He broke down. He broke down some different groups. He called it what do you call it? The cooler, cleaner, and closer. Not in that order. So the cooler is the person that show up every day for the check, right? And NBA terms, they'll show up. They're cool. They made it to the league. They're happy. The closer is like that person that will shoot that game-winning shot. You just got to give them the ball. The Steve Kerrs, the John Paxson. But the cleaner, that cleaner is a dog. That's the Kobe Bryants. That's the Michael Jordans that get obsessed with being great and just want to get better and better. And they're the ones that are going to put the closer in that position to close out the game. They don't have any excuses. They don't have I'm going to kill you and you just going to take it. Right. I don't need to watch game film on you. I need to watch game film on me so I can see how I can be better, because what you do does not matter. It's what I do that matters. And so that book and understanding Kobe Bryant's mind, and I'm like, it was the first time I seen somebody that had a drive like me, like someone that was willing to sacrifice everything. Like at that time, I walked away from a marriage because like, I don't put it on, I filed the divorce, and it was like, I chose me and what I was doing over everything else, and nothing was going to stop me from that. That was my vision right then. If you were in the way and I was going to work, and I was going to make this gym a success. And I'm going down in the Hall of Fame as the greatest that's ever done it, or the greatest that I could ever do it. That is my vision. And so to see somebody else have that kind of drive and talk about it, his Black Mamba side is like what I call my wolf side. That side that, and I call it Fenrir for a reason, because in Norse mythology, it took some special chains to hold this wolf down. But when he eventually broke out, he engulfed everything.
Hey, pause, hold on. So North mythology. Wait. Did I say that right?
Norse, Vikings.
Mike's okay. All
Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Like, man, I study it, man. I love Vikings. In high school, I love like Greek gods and things. I love learning about things like that because it all comes from somewhere. Right. So, but it's what I call my wolf side, like that place you have to go. When you're training for a fight, nothing else matters. Like it's 100% on your brain, even when you don't want it to be. And so you want to go spend time with your family, and you do, but it's not the same. It's not the same, because it's like during the basketball season, you want to play ball, and you go home, but it's probably not the same as the off season. And so it was like being focused on one thing and then being 100% in the moment. You've heard him and Michael Jordan talk about, like, I didn't care, miss. I got another shot. What I'm worried about a miss? Well, it's like that for a fight. I was 100% in the moment in the ring. You put me in the ring, I'll be in the moment. There is no, oh, I missed this, or I'm worried about doing this. Nope, I'm in the 100% moment. I am Neo in the Matrix. I am the one. I am 100% in the moment. I am as cool as can be. And for a big dude, I'm like, and put it on people. And so here's a gem for you. I had to learn how to be in the moment in my personal life without letting the past of my trauma affect my present, and stop worrying about the future and worrying about who's going to hurt me. Who's going to hurt me. So I had to learn how to be in the moment in my personal relationships. So am I perfect? No, I just do a better job at it because I understand the demon I'm trying to face, which is not react on emotions and not allow my brainstem, my instincts, to take over to the point where my frontal cortex, my logical thinking can't kick in, which means I need to sleep, which means I need to eat, which means I need to take care of myself so I could be a better human being for everybody else. And I can't just work all the time. So yeah.
That's a word. I had write that down. I'm quoting that on something today. I don't know if it's going to be Twitter or Facebook, but I'm quoting that today. Woo, we all needed that one. Real talk.
That's a whole other t-shirt right there. That's a series of t-shirts.
Look, you only learn by doing.
Right.
You can research and you can read other people. I've made so many mistakes in my life that is like, well, I'll tell you what I did. And if you still make the same mistake, well, that's on you, but hopefully you can learn a better way to navigate through that mistake. Like, don't don't just give everything to work.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to do that. And you talking to the dude that's literally been in a hospital bed still working. Right. And paid the price for it. You talking to the dude that, now there were other reasons, but a lot of the reasons were, I wanted the gym more than I wanted that marriage. But at the end of the day, who said the pandemic was going to stop? I could have lost the gym and then I had nothing. Right. And so I'm blessed that her and Kiara's mom, Amber, they rock with me. And we have a very abnormal family structure, but family's everything, man. Like, I had to learn that. I had to relearn that.
Yeah.
I had to relearn that nothing is more important than my family, and nothing can get in the way of that. It doesn't matter if I get, and people bat their eyes. It doesn't matter if I get $500,000 in debt. I could file for bankruptcy, or I could figure out a way out of it and do what I got to do. So it doesn't matter about money. It doesn't matter about work. It doesn't matter, because if I can't go home to someone, what am I doing it for? If I can't wake up and do something for other people, what am I doing it for? Why did I make all these mistakes? Why did I go through this? So for me, realizing that's a big deal. And we all like, oh man, we got to grind. We got to grind for what? What are we grinding for?
Right.
Family. So why aren't you? And I also learned that from Kobe. Not gonna front. I didn't have a dad to go ask that. I learned that from Kobe, hearing that man say, yeah, I train 3 or 4 times a day, but I make sure I'm home at this time and I'm like, oh man, what's my excuse? I ain't got no excuse. Because he's like one of the goats. What's my excuse? Oh, and then that led me down some Eastern philosophy books and understanding, oh man, natural order of things, family.
Yeah.
We're animals we're pack animals, like we're humans, yo. We need to be around people. So make sure I see my daughter every day. I'm blessed that she works with me. I see my son a lot, not as much as I want, but that's mainly on me. The days that I can't go see him are the days that I train my fighters. But he's at the gym with me, or he's at my house with the dogs, and it's cool because he helps me do housework. I'm teaching this man how to use hammers and all these tools, and I'm teaching him in a way that I wasn't taught. And so it's like, so, and like, I don't know. I know I'm going on another tangent. I'm sorry, but it's family, man. Like, before I talk about any books, if there's one thing that someone could take from this out of everything else, pardon my language, fuck the money. Fuck the money, fuck the fame, fuck it all. Because when I wanted to call it a day, the only reason I didn't is because of my kids.
That's real.
My family means everything. My daughter turned 18 and she wanted to go out to eat at this restaurant in order. My son Isaiah, his mother Sherelle, a girl named Aiden, her boyfriend, Amber, boyfriend, Aiden is his daughter, Amber, me, my girl Abby, Kiara, and her boyfriend Ant. Now you tell me in without reality show, or if I had that filmed, how many times would people think there's drama? Someone's about to throw something. I got my ex-wife, the mother of my son. I got the mother of my daughter there. Sorry, her son from another person was there as well. I got my current girlfriend who we live together, and my daughter and her boyfriend, and everybody's eating and laughing and having a good time. That's telling me that I'm an okay leader, because we can argue, we can fight, and we're still all good at the end of the day. So family means everything to me. Is that is that how I pictured my family? No, but that's the family I got. And that means more. I will walk away from my gym, my shoes. I will walk away from every other dream for them in a heartbeat. I will literally kill. So like family over everything. I know this is talking about money.
Yeah.
But what you will make the money. There's a million different ways to make the money, but remember what you're doing it for. Sorry, went on a road.
No, I love that.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, you need it doesn't make sense. I mean, trust me, I'll take $1 million.
Y'all know, y'all got kids, y'all know.
But
y'all
you ain't got nobody to spend it with. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like you really embody the theory of like, I take care of myself for y'all. Like it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm here to serve my family. You know what I'm saying?
And
in any way, shape, form, or fashion,
man.
But,
I think, we always typically end with book recommendations, but it just doesn't seem appropriate. The recommendation that you just gave us
was already
recommendation we should end with.
I got so many books.
He's like, all right, I want to feed you books,
man.
But no, I think, I think your overall message is the last thing that needs to resonate. Even like you said, if you are searching for different ways to make money, different revenue streams, at the end of the day, what truly matters. That should be the last resonating point in this episode, bro.
Word.
So I want to thank you and for taking the time and really
a lot of time. My bad.
No, this is good. It's beautiful.
No, this is dope. Cipher. It felt like a cipher, man. Like
right. I mean, there's so much in here. There's so much wealth of knowledge and jewels that you dropped, and more in different aspects beyond financial. And this is, of course, the basis of this is some financial education, but it's also life education. And I don't think they necessarily should be separate. And many times they need to be taught together. So, I appreciate you interweaving those things during your time here on Black Currency Podcast. So we really can't thank you enough for that.
Oh man, thank you. Y'all, this was dope, man. Like, bring me back on so I can be a little more specific with your questions. I try to do better, but at least talk about the books. But man, like, thank y'all so much, because I'm a big fan and I love what y'all doing. And so it's just a blessing, man. Like, thank you. Like, for real.
No problem.
And
now,
working
people to reach out and are you taking more fighters? Are you able to train more folks?
Yeah, man. Like that's all day. You can
we got the website up here. Is that the best way?
Oh yeah, that's one of them. Yep. That's the best way to get to the gym. Everything at Mr. Get Your Buzz Up. And if you go to markavans.com and go buy the shoes and go get the sneakers. And so
those are, and if I'm not mistaken, those are handmade in Italy. Am I correct on that fact? Okay.
Yeah,
I saw that differentiation. I was like,
you're gonna come out of pockets. You're gonna spend some money, but they're gonna fit nice. And I didn't even realize that I did Packer colors at first. Rob pointed that out. So if you're a Packer fan, go get that. I'm a Bears fan, so you can expect some Bear colors soon enough. But yeah.
I see the C on your hat. I see it.
Well, we'll make sure to have all those links in the description when this comes out. Everybody tuning in, if you're listening, know that you can also access us at myradio22.com/Black Currency Podcast. You can hit us up on the IG at Black Currency Podcast, and you'll be able to see this episode and rewind this back and take your notes at youtube.com/radio22. So for Mr. Mark Shah Evans, the panel here and everybody, I appreciate everybody coming on board and being a part of this. We appreciate all the people tuning in and listening. Make sure to share and subscribe, please. And we out. Yo, until next time, y'all, have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.
Ain't you sick of giving me your money?
I know he didn't do it, baby.
Whoa, where you going?
No, I'm about to go make these drop balls.